give yourself some metabolic reset, a little hygiene every now and then. That is one of the first and best steps to get towards longevity.
So what does that look like today? I mean, we, as Americans, we've inherited a food environment that's largely ultra processed. We talk about that a bit on the show. What would you say are the big levers then for most people listening to this, watching this on YouTube, to hit that reset button?
I think it's really simple. Number one, we have within arm's reach the ability to actually choose the foods in the grocery store, the fresh foods, to be able to actually have a automatic reset. Just by eating whole fresh foods that you're preparing from scratch, you're already displacing all that ultra-processed, pre-made, synthetic stuff that, we've been drinking that Kool-Aid for, the last 70 years, all right? So that simple thing to do. Give yourself some fresh food. Make it yourself. Take the time to do it. All right. In America, we don't enjoy food. We don't relish food the same way that in other cultures. If you ever take a vacation, you go to Italy, go to France, go to Japan, go to China, go to Vietnam or Thailand. People there really take the time to enjoy their food. And so even if you're so busy, you don't have time to focus on that, every now and then, give yourself the break to do that. That's one. Number two, don't overeat. We also have grown up, I think, accustomed to a life of abundance. If you listen to Peter Diamandis, that's his whole thing, is like we're living in a time of abundance. That's great, except overconsumption in an era of abundance is metabolically bad. That's like downloading everything you possibly can on your laptop. Every now and then you're going to find out that things are not working so well. So another reset you can do that anybody can do, simple steps. To me, I'm a scientist, a researcher. I'm also a physician. But when I talk to people, I'm like, the things that you can do that can really help are the simple things. So don't overeat. Now, a couple ways to do that. Number one, when you actually are eating, don't go for seconds. No matter how much we're used to doing it, when there's seconds to be had, don't do it. Number two, when you go for firsts, only load up 2/3 of what you might otherwise want to load up. These are little internal controls. Write them down, take a magic marker, write them down on your hand if you need to, but it's a simple step that anybody can take. Doesn't cost money, okay? In fact, it saves money. The other thing I would say is, and this is something I do myself as part of my reset, is to skip a meal every now and then. Now, as a medical doctor, when I was training, I had my butt kicked like continuously, being on call and being on duty and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of times I didn't have time to eat breakfast, for example, or even eat lunch. And what you want to do is to make sure that, or to think about it differently. That's okay, because when you take it easy on pounding those calories down, all right. Now, if you're training for a marathon, you're going to need it. All right. Anything that's going to require physical strength, protein, calories, energy, you want to actually load up. But for most of us on a day-to-day level, we don't need to consume as much as we might otherwise want to. So these are three simple kind of reset steps that anybody can take. Doesn't cost money. Takes a little bit of forethought. That's it.
And when it comes to the foods that that we are loading up our plates with, satiety has become a big topic of conversation these days, particularly within the obesity and nutrition community. What would you say are some of are the foods that are most valuable in terms of prioritizing for their satiety benefit?
Yeah. So you're asking the right question, which is, how do we not overeat? If you feel full, you're less likely to overeat, right? It just doesn't feel good to stuff yourself to the gills. All right, so what are some foods that you can eat that actually make you feel full, and how do you eat them so you can kind of get to that better desired state? Well, first of all, foods that have a lot of dietary fiber, like chickpeas, legumes, lentils, white beans. You ever have like a bean taco? All right, like one bean taco will make you eat less dinner later on. Right, for lunch, it'll make you eat less dinner later on. And that's because beans, with all that dietary fiber, actually have a satiety effect, not only on your gut, but also in your brain. And that's a good thing. And that dietary fiber, by the way, has a fringe benefit, a big one, which is that dietary fiber feeds our gut microbiome. And that gut microbiome turns out to be much more important than we thought for longevity. Okay, and this is an area that I'm super fascinated by, because here we are talking about gut health and anti-inflammation and autoimmune diseases and all the current discussion around gut health. All right, turns out the latest research shows that this is as important in ways that we haven't fully figured out yet for longevity.
Hey, if you liked that video, you need to check out this one here, and I'll see you there.